What's going on, NFL fans? It's Mitchell Renz, and you're watching NFL Daily. Coming up here on today's show, we're going to look at some potential replacements for Frank Reich, because maybe you didn't watch the video we put out earlier today, or you live underneath a rock. But the Indianapolis Colts, they have decided to move on from head coach Frank Reich. He was hired back in 2018, and after a 3-5-1 start this season, I just believe that Jim Irsay was looking for a little bit more. Now, I'll be blunt with y'all. I think Chris Ballard deserves a ton of also heat because, let's face it, if you can't find a quarterback, it's hard to be able to make it work in the NFL. And that's one thing that Reich had to deal with. He had to deal with 5 different starting quarterbacks to start the season. In 2018, the quarterback that he had, Andrew Luck. Then Luck ends up retiring, and ever then, it's just been a downhill slope for Indianapolis. Then you started Jacoby Brissett, 2019. Then Phillip Rivers in 2020. Carson Wentz. Then you had Matt Ryan. You have Sam Ehlinger this year. He stinks. I would say go back to Matt Ryan. What's going to be an absolute circus is you got a brand new interim head coach, who we'll talk about here in just a second. But I'll tell you what. Insane to me, everything going on right now in Indy. Now, if you love the NFL, and if you're just looking to improve your overall NFL knowledge, maybe you like to talk about football when you're with your friends, your family. If you're a woman and you're like, hey, I want to be able to impress my husband, my boyfriend, the guy that I'm trying to go on a date with, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because I think Chat Sports can help you out quite a bit. Let's now talk about the breaking news that happened, kind of like right before we started making this video here. Adam Schefter said, breaking, Colts are naming their former 6-time Pro Bowl center and ESPN analyst Jeff Saturday as their interim head coach. Saturday has been a consultant for the team, is in the Ring of Honor, and also is head coach for the Hebron Christian Academy football team in Georgia. So when you see that, I want to genuinely know, what is your one-word reaction to the Colts hiring Jeff Saturday as an interim head coach? When you think about it, Saturday, great relationship with Jim Irsay. I'm almost curious of if he can figure out a way to bring Payton Manning in, and him and Saturday try to do something absolutely insane in Indy. But I will say this. Frank Reich had the deck stacked against him because of all the different quarterbacks. I like Jeff Saturday. I'm rooting for Jeff Saturday. And if it does end up working, you will see him in our top 10 candidates list when we make another one at the end of the season. So let me know, y'all, your one-word reaction, which means it is now finally time to get into our top 10 head coaching candidates for the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm going to rank these from 10 and go all the way down to 1. And this ranking list is based off of who I think they could potentially bring in 2023. And let's just be real, this list is going to change a lot probably from now until we do the video again in the offseason. One of the reasons why I love Jerod Mayo, inside linebacker coach right now for New England, he also helps out a lot more, I think, than what people like to realize in terms of being a defensive assistant. He played linebacker in the NFL from 2008 and 15. If I'm Jim Irsay, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a guy named Mike Vrabel. He is killing us right now in our division. He's a Patriots linebacker. He was regarded as a very intelligent player. When you find players who also have on-field credibility, it gives you a lot of credibility as a head coach. And Mayo, he's got some. Let's go to number 9 here. It's Shane Steichen. And I don't want to just sit up here and say, well, maybe they don't bring him in because of the Eagles and Frank Reich didn't work out. Frank Reich's going to be fine. He's going to find another job somewhere else. He's a good coach to me. Steichen, on the other hand, has been a solid offensive mind. He started as an offensive assistant for Louisville back in 2010. And the thing that I love for head coaches, if you can find somebody who's got experience on both sides of the football, offense and defense, like Steichen has, especially at the NFL level, that's a thumbs up. And the levels of progression that Jalen Hurts has been able to grow this season, I get it. They got a lot of talent around him, but Steichen deserves a tip of the cap to that. Now we'll get into our top 8 here in just a second, but I don't know about y'all. If you're looking to become a lord or a lady, literally my legal name is Lord Mitchell Renz. Patrick Seatman over here, Lord Patrick Seatman. We're going to call you Greg. Lord Greg, it can happen. Here's how you do it. Listen up right now. Shout out to our brand new sponsor, Established Titles. NFL Daily is sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, or ladies in English. The package gives you 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planting the Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link that you guys can see down there below at establishedtitles.com/chat, you can get a plot next to me within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lady, a lord, we can create our own little chat sports kingdom. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. So, I'm going to look at every single one of y'all right now. You need a really cool last-minute gift for you, your mom, your dad. I never know what the hell to get my parents. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat. That link's going to be available for you guys in the comments and in the description of today's video. Let's go to number 8 here on my list for replacements for Frank Reich. Shane Waldron. He has done a very good job this season with Geno Smith. Personally, I think the Seattle Seahawks are one of the biggest wonders right now in the NFL at 6-3. He's been coaching in the NFL since 2008, and I like coaching trees, but I also like coaching trees when it works from like an older standpoint, like Belichick. Obviously, he's a great offensive mind, but he's also worked underneath Sean McVay. Now he's working underneath Pete Carroll. To me, there are a lot of good coaching trees there, and Waldron, again, doing wonders with Geno Smith. Coming in here at number 7, I'm going to go with Ken Dorsey, and I like Ken Dorsey, offensive coordinator for the Bills. NFL quarterback from 2003 to 2008. Dorsey did a hell of a job with Cam Newton in the season that he won his NFL MVP. I believe Josh Allen is going to win NFL MVP this season, so you're an OC, and both of your quarterbacks win MVP. The Colts, to me, have a complete team minus a quarterback. You got the best running back in the NFL. You have good pieces at receiver. Yeah, the defense has struggled at times, but that's because I think the offense is just such a wasteland. The defense is out there on the field, and you got Gus Bradley, and then you get even more coaching experience. If you can find yourself a quarterback, Indy's going to be a tough team to beat. Number 6 on our list, another quarterback, another offensive mind. You're going to see a trend. I believe the NFL is better off when you get a young, offensive-minded coach because, let's face it, the NFL is an offensive-minded league. He is regarded as one of the great young offensive minds in the game, an NFL quarterback from 2012 to 2017. You listen to a lot of people inside the NFL talk about intelligence. A lot of people will say, Kellen Moore is one of the smartest people they've ever been around. Tony Romo gets a lot of credit for being on TV, calling out plays. There's been multiple times where Romo's like, Kellen Moore is smarter than me. And I believe that. Moore just didn't have the athletic ability to play quarterback at the next level. And since he has taken over as offensive coordinator for Dallas, whether you like the Cowboys or not, the offense has been good through the air and on the ground. So here's my question to you, and I'm always curious about this. Like, we're going to go back to school here, A, B, C, D, or F. I want you to grade the Colts head coaching job. Even though I can't stand the Cowboys. I know we got a lot of Cowboys fans in here. I'm sorry. That's probably the top job in the NFL, right? I'd say the worst job in the NFL right now might be Carolina, Jacksonville. Those are not great jobs. Indy, on the other hand, where do they stand? How would you grade that job? A, B, C, D, or F? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Let's go back to Dallas here. Coming in at number 5, it's defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. He is a regular season head coach, record of 43-42, all of which came with the Atlanta Falcons. He's got a playoff record of 3-2 also, and, well, should have a Super Bowl ring, but 28-3. He's done a great job with the Cowboys defense. I know there was a lot of people that were worried how he would be able to bounce back coming from Atlanta. Cowboys defense is legit. They have a top 5 unit from top to bottom to me, and I do think Dan Quinn deserves a lot of credit. This is something, though, that I've said about Quinn, and there's been other coaches out there that I agree with this. Some people are built to be coordinators. Other people are built to be head coaches. I believe Dan Quinn is built to be a great defensive coordinator. That doesn't mean, though, that he won't get an opportunity again in the NFL. Coming in here at number 4 is Byron Leftwich, and he basically had the Jags head coaching job last season. He just didn't want to work with Trent Baalke, and I don't really blame him, so they decided to go with Doug Peterson instead. He's worked with Tom Brady for the past 2 years. He worked with Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh. He played in the NFL from 2003 to 2012. He is an aggressive-minded coach, which I like. I like coaches that are aggressive. Now, his stock might have come down a little bit because I think last offseason he would have been in the top 3, top 4 coaching candidate. But because of the Buccaneers' struggles, which I would probably point the finger at just the abysmal offensive line that Tampa has, and not so much at Byron Leftwich. If you want to try to run an aggressive offense with a great running back in Jonathan Taylor, Byron Leftwich might be your dude. Now, we got 3 more coaches to get to, but you know what? I want to go through some honorable mentions here because there are a lot of really good coaches in the NFL. Brian Flores deserves to be on this list. Lesile, Frazier, the Bills defensive coordinator. Raheem Morris, the Rams DC. Eric Bieniemy, he's apparently a terrible interviewer, but he is a good coach. Ejiro, the Broncos defensive coordinator. And I'm going to throw in Jim Harbaugh here, Michigan head coach. I get it. He got a new contract with Michigan, but Harbaugh played with Indy. He's got a great relationship with Jim Irsay, the owner for Indy. If Irsay said, hey, Harbaugh, here's a blank check. We should have done this last season. I don't know if you all seen that movie, Blank Check, but I remember it, and there's a lot of money on that check. Let's go to number 3 here. It's Mike Kafka, offensive coordinator for the Giants. Kafka's been coaching in the NFL since 2016, and to me, Kafka's going to be like the next Sean McVay, and that's how just highly regarded I think Kafka truly is. He has done wonders this season with Daniel Jones. The Giants' offense doesn't really have any good skill position players. I mean, you're going to ask a lot of your Giants friends, if you have any, tell me some good skill position players. It's realistically Saquon Barkley, and yet this team is winning a lot of football games. Brian Daboll deserves a ton of credit, but Brian Daboll, who I would say right now deserves to be in the front running to be head coach of the year, said, who do I want as my OC? I'm going to take Mike Kafka, who's been working with Patrick Mahomes, and now you're working with Daniel Jones. He played in the NFL from 2010 to 2015. Mike Kafka is an up-and-coming dude in this league, and the team that grabs him, Giggity, is going to be very happy that they did so. Let's go to number 2 here. If you want to hire a defensive-minded coach, then this is the route I would go. I love DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans is a great young defensive mind. He brings energy. He brings swagger. He is going to be, to me, like that next Mike Vrabel in terms of a dude who played in the NFL and is going to be a great head coach for many, many years. Played in the NFL from 2006 to 2015 and has worked underneath Shanahan. You go back and you look at a lot of these guys that have either come out of a McVay tree or have come out from that Shanahan tree. I mean, look what Mike McDaniel's doing right now in Miami. Those teams are tough. Those teams are mentally tough. And Indianapolis needs a little bit more mental toughness in my book. So if you're going to hire an offensive dude, DeMeco Ryans is your guy. Coming in here at number 1, and I'm just going to do a spoiler alert for you. Every single head coaching replacement video we do this offseason, if Sean Payton isn't number 1, it's a bad video because he retired from coaching in 2021, and I'm going to use the asterisk there and retired. I don't know if you all know this, but Sean Payton's daughter, Megan, used to work here at Chat Sports last year, and we try to keep tabs on what Sean's doing. We know that he wants to coach in the NFL again. At least that's the plan. He's going to be the top candidate on every team. When you got a career record of 152 and 86, a Super Bowl ring, and you're going to be in the NFL Hall of Fame, the teams are going to want you. So I'm not saying that he's the most likely to go for Indy, but if you're Irsay, if you're Chris Ballard, number 1 on the list, Sean Payton. That's the first guy that you give a phone call to. So here's your opportunity now to take a guess. Who will be the Colts head coach in 2023? If Jeff Saturday can totally 86 this season because they're 3-5-1, if you can find a way to make it into the playoffs, I'll say Saturday deserves the time. The issue is his last name is Saturday. It's not Sunday, so how can he actually be the head coach? I don't know. Let me know, though. Appreciate you made it this far in the video. Who's going to be the Colts head coach in 2023?